Have you ever caught yourself spiraling into negative thoughts, telling yourself you're not good enough, smart enough, or strong enough? I know I have. Sometimes it starts small, like thinking I can't handle this task, and before I know it, I've convinced myself I'm a failure. But what if I told you there's a simple 3-word phrase that can stop this spiral in its tracks? By the end of this video, you'll not only know what the phrase is but also how to use it in everyday situations, so you can rewire your brain, calm your mind, and replace negativity with clarity. Stick with me, because once you know it, you'll never think the same way again. Why negative thinking controls us? Our brains are designed for survival, not happiness. Thousands of years ago, humans had to assume danger was everywhere just to stay alive. That instinct still lives inside us today. For example, imagine you're waiting for a text reply. 10 minutes go by, and suddenly your brain says, they must be ignoring me. Maybe they're upset with me. Maybe I said something wrong. In reality, the person could just be busy. But our brain's alarm system kicks in, creating stories that drain our energy and confidence. This constant loop convinces us the thoughts are real. And that's where the 3-word phrase comes in. It breaks the cycle instantly. Reveal the phrase. The phrase is this true? Every time a negative thought shows up, I'll fail. I'm not worthy. This will go wrong. Pause and ask yourself, is this true? Let me share an example. A friend of mine once said, I can never speak in public. I freeze every time. I asked her, is that true? After thinking for a moment, she realized she had actually spoken in small groups before and did just fine. The story in her head was stronger than the reality. Most of our thoughts can't stand up to this simple question. How it works? Here's why this works. When you question your thoughts, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the logical part of the brain. This weakens the emotional brain, the part that fuels fear and anxiety. Think about it like this: imagine a storm cloud forming in the sky. That's your negative thought. The moment you ask, is this true? It's like shining a flashlight into the storm. Suddenly, it doesn't look so big, and often, it fades away. For example, when I once thought, I'm terrible at making videos, I asked myself, is this true? The reality. My first few videos weren't perfect, but they weren't terrible either. I was learning, improving, and still showing up. That's the truth, not the harsh story in my head. Practical ways to use it. Now let's talk about how you can use this phrase daily. In the morning, when the first negative thought appears, maybe something like I'm too tired to be productive today, ask, is this true? Chances are, once you get moving, you'll feel better. At work, before a meeting or presentation, if you think, I'm going to mess this up, pause and ask, is this true? Most likely, you've prepared, you've done your work, and there's no real evidence that you'll fail. In relationships, maybe you assume, they don't care about me. Ask, is this true? Often, you'll realize that's just fear talking, not reality. You can even journal it. Write down the thought, and directly below, write, is this true? Then, write your answer. Over time, this habit retrains your brain to separate facts from stories. So the next time negativity takes over, remember these 3 words, is this true? They stop the spiral, give you control, and replace fear with clarity. Negative thinking won't disappear overnight, but with practice, this phrase becomes your shield. Imagine carrying a mental tool that lets you challenge any fear, doubt, or insecurity. That's the power of 3 little words. And once you master it, life feels lighter, calmer, and more in your control. If this helped you, imagine what your life could look like if you built more habits like this. In my next video, I'll share another 1-minute mental trick that instantly resets your focus, so make sure you don't miss it.